Silver's on the scene. It is Thursday, September 26th. Hope everyone's week is going great and the weekend's right around the corner. Let me take a moment to say, for those in Florida dealing with hurricane, please be safe. Get your families to a safe place. Make your decisions wisely as to what you need to do to either evacuate, ride out the storm, or whatever it is you need to do. Just be safe. We're all thinking of you. Positive thoughts. And like here in Atlanta with heavy rains and anywhere else, maybe flash flood warnings, little byproducts of this hurricane. Everyone, please be safe. All right. It is September 26th. And 7 months ago today, February 26th, 7 months to the day, Sebastian Rogers was reported missing from his home. 15 years old, missing teen. Where is Sebastian Rogers? 213 days gone. Gone. One of the first posters we saw, one of the first flyers we saw was this. Whether it be this flyer, whether it be the FBI flyer, the one in between, or this most recent one right here. There are phone lines, tip lines. If you feel like you have a good tip, let me say it like this. I've had people email me and say, hey, would you preview or would you review my tip? What I think happened to Sebastian, for whatever the reasons. My response is the same. If you feel confident in the tip that made you type out to me, please send that to the appropriate law enforcement. Send it to Dog, the Bounty Hunter, tips@manhunts.one. Okay? You can email the FBI, the TBI. Okay? I'll do all I can. I'll look at those tips. I've reviewed several of them. In some cases, I can go myself and look, and I love doing that. However, as you know, I do not live in the area. We're going to talk about the recap of searches, how I got back to the area, boots on the ground. So it may take me a moment to get back. It may take the contacts I have both in Hendersonville and West Tennessee, Memphis, Horn Lake, Mississippi, and Southaven, Mississippi. It may take a moment. So I've got a couple I'm going to reply to tonight and say, hey, yes, I think you should run with this. And then if no one's working on it, if no one's pursuing it, next time I'm back, I will. At this point, let me say, this video is alleged, in my opinion, my thoughts, my beliefs. I may forget to say that down the road because I'm going to say some things of what I believe has happened to Sebastian. And it's my opinion. And what makes it great is everyone who's watching this or sees this to have their own opinions, their own thoughts, and we can attack the areas of concern and bring Sebastian home. Because, ladies and gentlemen, I think I've said it a lot, but in case I haven't, there's one goal. Find Sebastian Rogers and bring him home. Okay, so recap of searches. That's what this video is going to be about. Recap of searches starting this past Friday and then Saturday and Sunday. I was able to hit Memphis, Southaven, Horn Lake, drive the 240 miles over to Hendersonville. By the way, 3 hours again. 3 hours again. Go and search Hendersonville, just outside of Hendersonville, and just outside of Hendersonville. 7 different locations. Been bringing you along. Thanks for the comments. Thanks for the tips. Thanks for seeing things that maybe I didn't see. And we'll go from there if there's things we need to follow up on. Okay? So, where do we start? We start here, and that is construction site. Construction site. Here's a quick pause from my video. This is a tower crane. So if you're not familiar with tower cranes, this is what you're looking at. Right? They're building these additions to St. Jude's. This was my first time to go by there. Okay? So Chris ran one of these three. Maybe there's a fourth one there. One of these three or four. He no longer works at this location. He's wherever he is. I'm not sure where that is. But this is in Memphis. And how I saw this site and came upon it was on my way to a search location. And that search location came to me from a subscriber, an email. Essentially what we had is a Google image that appeared to be, it could be some type of bag, white in color. So it was sitting in the water there in Memphis, 2.3 miles from the job site. So I jumped in the car while I was in Memphis, and I headed over to see what this might be. And here it is. Okay. It was a tent. The good news, well, two good news. One, there was no body there. It was not a body bag. It was a tent. And you can see it sitting on the ground. The water was very receded back. You can see the video, see how far back the water went. This was at Wolf River Harbor. And it just fit in a spot to where, allegedly, in my opinion, as I believe Christopher Proudfoot's involved with the disappearance of Sebastian, in my opinion, with him working at St. Jude's and this being a few miles away, maybe he could have placed something there. Cleared, it's not that. It was a tent. Okay? Now, from there in Memphis, I also, and before I actually went and saw this, I was also given the information that there was an RV park 6 miles from this location, north. So you have, pretend like this is the map, north, the RV, south 6 miles where this tent was seen on Google Maps, and then another south 2.3 miles to the job site. So a little over 8.23, 8.4 miles from the job site. So I went there asking if Chris Proudfoot had stayed there, specifically the night Sebastian went missing. And the answer is no. Okay? But at this time I'll pause, because what I thought would be a 1-minute conversation turned into about 15 or 20, at the end of which I'll use extremely emotional. Some of the information I was given. Okay? So I'm going to do that in a separate video. I'm not going to put it in this video. This is a video of just recapping the searches. I think it deserves its own video, and that should come tomorrow. And there's some things there that just, as I said, I became extremely emotional. And the reason was it confirmed some things I thought that I knew. So we'll be discussing that. Stay tuned for that coming tomorrow. So I found this tent. Move on to the next location. Next location brought me to Southaven, Mississippi. Okay? Southaven, Mississippi. They call it the top of Mississippi. So if you don't know the lay of the land, Memphis, Tennessee is at the southernmost southernmost point of Tennessee. On the west side, I believe it's Arkansas meets on one side, then you have Mississippi down below. So this, when you leave from Tennessee, Memphis, and go into Mississippi, as they call it, the top, because it's the northernmost part, is Southaven, the city of Southaven. Found myself there. Why? Easy Days RV Park. Okay, so the one of the best parts about going to Easy Days was this. I was able to meet one of the people I've been communicating with. Now, the person I met, I hadn't spoke to verbally before. I did not get to meet the person I spoke to verbally before to get information, but I did meet someone who I've been communicating through email. The nicest, the absolute nicest. I think I'm nice. Such a nice person. Gave permission to look on a particular part of the property. Just what can we do to help find him? Just so much good information. There was no more information about whether Chris was there or not. If Chris was there, then I believe he was staying with someone else, or at least had the RV in that name. So I go to search here. I let them know I was doing so. And Tammy came. So Tammy joined. Thank you, Tammy. I'm going to take a moment. Look, clapping now. Tammy, thank you so much. Very nice person as well. You know, I have to say, I don't think I've met a person yet, and hopefully I don't, that's not just good vibes. You know, Silver's on the scenes like a dog, right? I can feel the vibes the moment I'm around you. And hopefully you feel those good vibes coming off me, because I can tell immediately whether I'm getting a good vibe or not so good vibe. And whether it's people at RV parks or people I give flyers to, or, you know, definitely the people that have come and helped me search, great vibes. Okay, so Tammy joined me. We go into the woods. You see that video at the Easy Days. And, you know, part of our tip leading us there was from someone seeing like Sebastian there with a cat, keeping him company. And, you know, so I tell Silvers too, when I'm pulling up to the location, hey, the first thing I'm looking for is a cat. And ladies and gentlemen, as I'm getting the shovel out of the car, as I'm getting the boots out of the car, I look over to the woods, and right at the tree line, a black cat with like a white neck. I catch him and her on the video going in, but it's GoPro, it's not zoomed in, so it's really hard to see. You hear me say, hey, kitty, because I wanted the cat not to be spooked and possibly lead me and Tammy somewhere. Now, Tammy never got to see the cat. I told her about it. I'm going to call it him. I saw him twice. Once at the tree line, as I got about 20 feet from him, he took off into the woods. And then right as Tammy was pulling up, I glanced into the woods probably 30 feet or so in. I saw him again. And I thought, okay, great. He's possibly going to go somewhere that will lead us somewhere. And it's things like this, right? Something that's just telling you there could be something here. And that was it. Never saw him again. Tammy never saw him. So where did the cat go? Unsure of that. So we get into the woods. We're checking different things. And if you've watched the video, the biggest thing that popped for us was this. Okay? So when we come across this, we notice it's an area of like the woods where they're open. And this is, you can see pieces of this sticking out of the ground as if it had been buried. Took us both back. Right above it was this right here. You can see this right here. I'd already was above it, and it kind of made a cross in a way. You hear on my video when I say to Tammy, hey, did this fall like this? Was this put like this? So we jump in and we pull and pull and dig, and we pull the bag out. It took a lot of effort to get it out of the ground. You can see right here, you know, it was in there. Now this bag, I'll just say, ladies and gentlemen, this bag, okay, big enough for me to get in. Would definitely be big enough, in my opinion, for Sebastian to be in. Now this is a grill cover, so I don't have a grill. I know a lot of my friends grill. I don't grill really. I don't grill, I eat, right? That's the thing. They grill, I come over and eat. But this is for a large grill. Now, I don't know the RV world either, so I don't know if you take big grills like that. I mean, the first thought is this blew off of an RV, landed in the woods, and over time, dirt and stuff got on it. but it was big. And I don't know if you carry that big of an RV or a grill with you when you go camping. So it was very suspect. We pulled it up. We dug into the ground. We did some metal detector. Nothing showed that there was anything there but the bag. I actually have photos of the name of the bag. So what I will say at this point is I don't see that this did have anything to do with Sebastian, but watch the video. This is where we come together as a community. Okay? If you look at this video and you see the name on that bag, and let's just say you are a neighbor or you have been over to the Proudfoots at some point in time, and you know they had a grill cover like this that they don't have anymore, or maybe there's a grill out there that's not covered, allegedly could that belong to them? That's the part I don't know, but there was no signs of someone being buried here past just finding this bag. So we continued, went through everything else, and that was the biggest find we had. At that point, Tammy and I made our way over to Horn Lake. Okay, now Horn Lake, as you come down from Memphis. Okay, you come down from Memphis, you hit Southaven, Mississippi first, and then from there you go into Horn Lake. We all know Horn Lake, Yogi Bear. So there was a spot behind adjacent to Yogi Bear, about a half a mile down the road. The woods meet up to the back of Yogi Bear. But what has always caught my attention from day one is behind the Advanced Auto Parts, you could back a car or truck up and in about 20 or 30 feet be in the trees. And once you're in there, no one can see you. So I've always wanted to go in there. It is private property, but with the Horn Lake Police giving us that the ability to go on private property, basically saying to us, if you need to go, do it. If you're approached, let them know we've talked to you, show the flyer, and you should be fine. So we actually did approach the nearest home. It wasn't their property. Gave them a flyer, Tammy and I, and we went in. And so nothing was seen. I was expecting, because if you got to think about how I'm thinking on this, if an allegedly, my opinion, Chris had the body of Sebastian and he took him in there to bury him, it would be not far in. I would think still 7 months from now be noticed disturbed land. But the one thing that got me out of this location was the water. I did not realize the pond back there was that big. Didn't see that it's just a standing water pond. And that's when you get into the water thing, and could he be there in the water? That's just a possible other theory. There's nothing, I guess what I'm trying to say, there's nothing direct that to get law enforcement to go in there that really pinpoints that, because we're not 100% where Chris was staying the night Sebastian went missing. A little preview to tomorrow's video, I can tell you this, and this was told to me without me even, well, I take that back, I did ask. Chris was not staying on the job site. No one can stay on the job site. No one can stay on the job site with an RV. So we kind of eliminate that. So anyway, so that wrapped up Horn Lake. So now I wanted to go to Hendersonville, back to Hendersonville for just a few moments. Slide through there on my way back to Atlanta, check 2 locations that are really, I guess you could say, clear my conscience or clear me thinking that I've covered all my bases. And so Tammy and I talked. We said our goodbyes. Really nice person, as I said. And we're both kind of like, my biggest theory was he was taken to Horn Lake. With the RV, with the 17 hours, with Katie making a trip over there. If I get into my feelings more than my logical thinking, I just don't feel that he's there. I just don't feel like I did before that he's there. Yet I do in Hendersonville. So my plan was to go to Hendersonville. We go through, we look at a couple locations and we come home. But then Terry and I got connected. Terry Lynn and myself got connected, and we were planning on searching months ago, and she got sick, so we connected up, and I said, hey, yeah, I'll come to you. So we drove over on Saturday, straight there, 3 hours, like I tell you. We get there, I pull boots on, and I jump into the woods with Terry Lynn, right? Once again, good vibes, good people. Terry is good people. What is it with these T's? Tammy, Terry, but good people. Okay? And just as nice as you can be. Silvers 2 said the same thing. And Terry and I didn't really search together like Tammy and I did, like side by side or following one another. Terry had already been there in this location for a while. I show up and I'm able to jump in and kind of go behind her and look at different places, and I kind of like that because it's like a second walkthrough, a second set of eyes. So you see that video, and you know, the biggest thing there that really stood out to me that was this right here. Let me find this photo right here. This. Okay, so this is carpet. Everyone knows what carpet looks like. I used to sell carpet. I now sell another type of flooring, but hardwood flooring, but carpet. And it just it looks like it's been there for a while, more than 7 months. But I pulled as much of it up as I could. It was in the ground. It had just been there a while. I did find some more, a little piece of it to another area. So people people dump everything. There are more tires there than anything you've ever seen. But nothing there. And but that was one thing that stood out to me. Didn't really see anything, disturbed ground, or there's mounds. I know one comment had been like, look at that mound, but you have to realize the terrain too of where water runs through and how these are just nature makes these mounds. But yes, they do look like mounds. I 100% agree with the commenter. It's just going back to this situation and where we are. To give you my thoughts, when I'm in West Tennessee, Horn Lake, Memphis, that to me is burial. That is hiding the body, allegedly, in my opinion. When I'm in the Hendersonville area, it's more like out in the open, right? Out in the open, and that's more what my eyes are looking for. Okay, someone had mentioned, hey, like a memorial or a sign or something. Not a sign like an actual sign like this right here, but like something that like you can tell someone was doing something purposely because someone might be here. But so we did this. That was Saturday evening. So then I stay over Sunday. Sunday before I met with Terry again, I was able to go here. Okay. Now Drake's Creek, give you the lay of the land. Drake's Creek, as they say, runs through the city of Hendersonville. I'm not sure how far it goes, but it goes. It's a long, winding, running creek. So I searched 1 mile from his home, that area around Warsham's, as well as 5 miles from his home near Mary's Magical Place. And if you haven't noticed on my videos, Mary's Magical Place, Katie stating that's his favorite playground, sits on one side of Drake's Creek. On the other side of Drake's Creek is very commercial, and that's where the Texas Roadhouse is. So something about that's the last place he's seen on video, allegedly. I believe Katie might have even said in an interview that he wanted to go play after they came out of Roadhouse. He said, well, he knew his favorite place was right across the creek. And you have to drive over there. You can't, if there's a way to walk, there may be, but I'm not aware of it. But you drive around, because there's a big drop off from where, if you were to walk out of Texas Roadhouse, there's a video I have of that, and you'll just see it drops off, but down to the creek, and then, so there's something about that. I have been there 3 times now. So this is where I saw the dirt mounds by the actual playground. Came back, those were gone. And then when I came back, I also wanted to get to the creek, because if you walk into the woods and just try to see the creek, you can't. It's like berms. It's like mounds of sticks and trees and stuff that have built up through the water and leaves and stuff falling. So anyway, so I went there. So then this is the moment I'll tell you why I feel more about the Hendersonville area as I do the west. So there's really two reasons. I'll start with Terry. Terry's great people. Thank you, Terry, for all your help. We'll do this again. I'll be connecting with you again for sure. And I got to thinking when I was in Horn Lake. I know Terry. I believe. I think maybe I'd seen a video or something where she went over there and actually searched. But more so, I was thinking she does all of her searches there in the area. She's local there, and she just knows. I say in the video, Terry keeps the awareness alive. So thank you for that. I mean, it's better than anyone. And so that's one, logical thinking. And two, I connect my feelings. I try to get out of my head, as I said in the video. I'd never do it on video, and that is mainly out of respect for Sebastian. It's just something that I'm trying to connect. I don't know. It's hard to even explain what I'm trying to say other than just in my feelings, clear headed, show me a sign, point me in the direction where you may be, if that's possible, if that's something that can happen. And I do this on every search. And the only place I've ever felt, if you will, a response or a feeling after I speak is in Hendersonville, specifically around Drake's Creek. So that's what led me back to the areas. I had done some digging at the creek by the playground before. After stopping digging, I had felt a physical touch. So I had to go back to that spot. You can see that in the video. And I feel now that there is nothing there, but I still got a feeling, but not the feeling that I was looking for. And the same thing with over by Worsham. So when I make my way back to Hendersonville, which should be in a few weeks, boots on the ground, that creek may be focused for me again. Okay? So I did those two creeks. I did one creek, two different spots, and then from there I left and I went to meet Terry again. And both times searching with Terry was based off her theories of what she believes, her research, and after telling me that, it's legit. I mean, I couldn't say no, I don't believe that, or no, I don't think that could happen. It definitely could happen. So that's why we put our search efforts there. I guess here would be the big thing that stands out, as far as finds. There's a lot of trash here, so let me state that first. A lot of trash. This is where people just literally drive by, and I don't even think they stop in some cases. They just toss out. It's literally like a big dumpster, if you will. I think one of the comment was like it's like a dumpster. So I did find this bag. This boot was the only boot in here, but I found the other one a few feet down the way. As I said in the video, I don't know that these have anything to do with Sebastian. I know there's been comments. Here it is, a photo. If you think that it does, send this somewhere. If you think, I don't think it is, or it does. I've never heard he had boots missing, shoes missing. I've never heard that. Anything I've ever heard on his shoes was all of his shoes were accounted for at the house. Therefore, he's barefooted. So I don't see where these would be relevant. I know some comments have said, hey, why didn't you take these to the police? Well, I found clothes before in Horn Lake. I tried to give them to the police. Christy, also good people, found more clothing. They don't want to take them because of the time. It might not, it's like, how do you know that was clothing worn by Sebastian? So, but if you feel strongly, if you want me to send you the location of where these are, if you're in the area, I can. I mean, if you feel strongly, because I'm telling you, they're going to be there, because I believe it to be trash. Someone was possibly taking them to the Goodwill or whatever, and they just tossed them out of the car. Um, but look at these. If you know someone that says he had boots like this or he had shoes like this, then let me know, and I can go back and get them, or I can get with Terry, or we can figure a way to get them if you think they're relevant. I just don't think they are. So just to answer it, when people say, why didn't I take them? If I don't feel it, I don't think they're relevant based on what I know of this case and the research I've done, then there's no reason. There's no reason, in my opinion, to take them. So just to kind of sum that up. And then we searched there. And ladies and gentlemen, this was like like I said, it's like a dumpster, but it was like a bowl. Picture a stadium, and you're on the field, and you're looking up at all the stands. And on either side, there's really basically three sides. 90 degrees is up, straight up and down. At best case, these were 70 degrees. I think the side I went up on was more like 85. It was literally almost straight up and down. And on that side, the road is so close, if you're on one lane, you can just toss stuff, and if it's got weight to it, it'll just roll down. Everything from couches to tires galore, and toys, and a lot of bottles and stuff. It's just a lot of trash. So, but if you feel strongly and think that maybe you saw something, you're in the area, I can send you location and you can go check. And this could be a location I revisit when I come back, boots on the ground. Okay, so that kind of sums it up. I guess the great thing was I don't think I've ever searched 3 days in a row. I think it's been maybe two, and then I moved to another city. Basically, the two cities being Horn Lake and Hendersonville. But this was three in a row. I feel like we covered a lot of ground. I feel like we covered a couple of different theories of what may have happened to Sebastian and where he may be. And we're still looking. That's the thing. We're still looking. We're still searching. We haven't forgotten him. Terry gave me this, which I love it. I love it. Sebastian Strong. And so we're gonna keep looking for you, son. That's the goal. There's nothing more. Okay, nothing more. I appreciate all the comments, all the support, the emails. Keep them coming. And if we together feel like a tip is something that needs to go, we'll get it over to the authorities. We'll get it over to the dogs team, somewhere that I may not be able to get to either quickly or physically based on the location. When it comes to boats and stuff like that, I don't have access to that. So if it's something, we'll get it to somewhere. But we work together on this for Sebastian Rogers, who now we got missing 213 days. Okay, 213 days, 7 months today to the date. I said it on Monday because that's the day he was reported missing, but 7 months to the date. So what do we do? What do we do? We keep the awareness alive for Sebastian. That's what we do. So we can find him and then get justice for him. So hope that recaps the searches and what I was doing and why I was doing them. If you have questions, comments, put them in the comments. Send me an email. Keep watching. Keep seeing what we're not seeing, what we may be stepping over. And as I said, tomorrow, I think tomorrow's video is a big video. Simply to say, no matter what you're thinking or what your theories may be, when you hear this information I'm going to share tomorrow, I think it'll put you right there where I am, and from the comments and the emails, where most people are. Okay? And so stay tuned for that. Thank you for your support. As always, the goal is simple. There's not anything else. Find Sebastian Rogers. And Sebastian, know this. We're not going to forget you. And we're going to keep looking. The only way we stop looking for Sebastian Rogers is for someone to find him. Whether it's Silvers on the Scene, Terry Lynn, Tammy, Christy, whomever. The great people that are out there doing it. That's all it's about. Nothing more, nothing less. Thank you, and as always, stay tuned. More to come. Have a great evening. Silvers on the scene, silvers on the scene.